Perseverance is something that is often underlooked when it comes to League of Legends, when it comes to playing video games. People think of video games, you hear the term that it's just a game, it's not that hard, GG, get good. But when it comes to the way people attribute things in life and the way they attribute things in a game, you can see very similar balance between the two. So having a certain level of perseverance and have a certain level of tenacity, which a lot of people don't know is a synonym for perseverance. And yes, we build it in the game. So why do we need to build it in life? Why do we need to be able to build that level of determination in life, as far as, especially when it comes to League of Legends? At the end of the day, it's you're playing a game with a team, against a team, against a group of other people playing with you. So you're playing as yourself, you're playing against 5 people, and you're playing with 4 people in the hopes that you can somehow fight through this, come together, and win a game. And string a couple wins together so that way you can climb, progress, and grow. But we talk about perseverance, we talk about tenacity, and what it takes to forge on and forge forward, because it's really, really, really easy to give up. We've all been in games where someone starts losing, or you even get behind, and you just feel like forfeit at 15, GG, go next, forfeit at 20. And in rare situations, you may even really just want to leave the game. You want to AFK. You're like, this game is pointless. Why am I still in here? You're so aggravated. You're so frustrated. You're so mad. And you just say, I'm out of here. For those people, you try to, if they're on your team and you're not toxic, you want to do your best to try to help those people at least bring their emotions back down. You want to help them not feel in their pit or in their rut where they're not going to be able to win. Because when you're losing lane and your team's not doing well, a game feels hopeless. And that sense of hopelessness is so demoralizing. It takes away from the foresight that one can have when it comes to knowledge that they may have, or things that they may understand when it comes to a game that they've been playing for years or months or even days. There's still some iota, some bit of knowledge that you have that may be able to help you if you clear that cloudiness that's building because of your frustration, because of your anger. And you build that tenacity by learning how to shift and pivot when it comes to your mentality and your understandings as to what's going on in the current moment. A lot of times when you're frustrated and you're upset and you find yourself stuck in this space where you feel like everything's against you and your teammates are bad and the matchmaking sucks and there's no way for you to be able to climb because you always have the inters on your team and the smurfs on the enemy team, what you're doing is you're compressing and you're compiling and you're pushing yourself into this little box. And the longer and longer you put yourself into the box, the harder it becomes for you to push out of the box. Because it's not just like putting yourself in the box. It's like then putting another layer on that box, and then putting another layer on that box, and putting another layer on that box, and they're all pushing down on you. So instead of just having a simple, like, okay, I can just break out, it's like you need to remove each layer in each shell, like those little, like, Russian dolls. I forget what they're called. But the ones where they, like, hop out of each other and stuff like that. And the more that you play, going back to our video where we discuss practice making permanent, you can either find a way to make it easier to take off those layers or to not even allow yourself to be put in that box, or you may make it a more permanent trait where all you do is compile and compound and make it more constraining and constricting onto yourself to the point where you may revel in losing games. You may become that person that former pre-reformed Tyler 1, where they didn't get their champion, they're running it down. Their support took a kill, they're running it down. Their jungler didn't give a kill, they're running it down. They're creating and adding more negativity to the game and to themselves, and then bringing that to the game. They're not going and looking at the big picture. Which brings me to my next point: big picture viewing, right? So you may be doing terrible, you may be having a rough time, you may be having a really, really, really hard time in the game, but you could easily look at the big picture, look at other parts of the map, look at your own champion. If you're on Kassadin and you're 0-3, but you're only down 30 CS, you're on Kassadin and you're 0-3 at level 4 or 5. You know that as long as things don't get too far out of control, when you hit levels 11 and level 16, you're going to hit some crazy power spikes, and you're going to make the team regret queuing up for the day. You're going to make them feel like they've wasted their time. But in that moment, yeah, your jungler may be off for farming wolves, their jungler may be camping you because their jungler understands that we need to do everything in our power to keep this person down. Same thing with a Kale or a Rise. Yeah, in that moment, you're not doing too hot and things aren't going your way. You haven't hit your power spike, you haven't been able to grow, you haven't been able to hit that level that'll make things a lot easier for you. But your time will come. And building up that determination, that dedication to the process, and understanding that if you do what you're supposed to do, if you do what you need to do to climb, you're going to be able to, or to at least learn. You can take and adapt what you've learned to the game that you're in and the situation that you're in to be able to progress and grow. Going back to understanding the big picture, right? There are tons of situations that you'll find yourself in where things do seem really, really rough. Things seem dire. You seem you're at your wit's end. No pun intended for the item in the game, and your outlooks aren't looking very, very good. And this not just happens in the game; it happens in life too. But always think about the big picture. There's always more out there. There's always more to come. There's always more that you can look forward to. Because if you AFK, if you disconnect, if you leave, then who's to know what could have happened? I've been in games where someone gets so frustrated, they AFK, they leave the game, and they go. And we still win that 4v5. Doesn't happen often, but the games where you do win the 4v5, it's the team that stuck around and stuck it out and fought it out. One, you feel really, really good because you got to win. Two, you feel super good because you won against an odd that you're not supposed to win against. Something like for every minute that goes by in a 4v5, your chances of winning drop by like 12% until you have like a 4% chance of winning or something crazy. It's something insane. I also read that off of Reddit like 4 years ago. So if somebody knows that Reddit post and or knows the stat that I'm talking about, please feel free to link it down in the comments down below. But yeah, you really do have to take the time to understand that everything that's happening immediately does not mean that everything's coming to an end or that's the end of the world, especially when you're talking about League of Legends. But when you're talking about life, you can carry those same philosophies and that same understanding across, There are a lot of people that are in dark places and they feel that, they're not going anywhere, they're not getting anywhere, they're not getting ahead. They may be at a part of their life where their expectations for themselves were much higher and they feel that they haven't met those expectations yet. For those people, you really want to help them, you want to aid them, and if you are feeling that way, understand that there's still more to come. There's still another day. All you can try to do is be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Be a little bit better, incrementally better. We're talking baby steps here, We're talking little by little. And at the same time, as you're trying to better yourself, you'll start to see that you better yourself, you better the circumstances of those around you. And that radiates. They help other people, bringing it back to League. That's the same way. You may be in a rough spot and you start, let's say, farming. Start farming better. You go from 3 CS a minute to like 7 CS a minute, right? So now you're back in the game, which allows you to aid or help your jungler. Your jungler is now back in the game, who's able to help bot lane. They have a whole 4 players that are actually able to change the tide of the game, start winning bouts, start winning contests, start making picks, making plays, winning team fights, taking objectives, and ultimately winning the game. So always remember to build a little tenacity, whether you're building it with a pair of boots or in real life. It's been me, your boy King. Thanks again. Feel free to subscribe, hit the like button. Feel free to also drop by the stream, twitch.tv xkingprime or /xkingprime. I stream from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just drop by. Drop a comment if you have ever been in any of those places, whether in game or out, and what helped you get through them, and if you're going through them, feel free to also message me. I'm always down to talk. I'm always down. I'm an open ear, and like I said, it's been your boy King. Peace.